What up, everybody? It's BBKDRAGOON, and it's FFA day. More like FFA week, to be precise. About the only arena playlist I've been doing this season is free-for-all. Reason being, it's really good practice, and oftentimes teammates are not on. But really, FFA is such good practice if you're trying to get back into the swing of things. Look at this. Look, you can even hear it. It even blinks like I got the hit marker there. That guy must have survived with just a tiny sliver of health. That was insane. Ooh, nice Splinter Nade placement. Splinter Nades in this game are vicious, vicious. FFA is just wonderful practice for getting back into the swing of things. I'm 3 weeks into the division and just sort of chilling with that game, and now I got to get my thumbs warmed back up, back on the old Halo sticks after World Championships, and trying to get back into the swing of things. These few clips from the different FFA games you're going to see has a bit of a story behind it. This week I was playing, I think, 3 FFA matches in particular, maybe 4. First game got stomped. It was a lobby full of 6 people who were all Diamond Onyx tier, and they all were sharp. Like, everybody in that lobby was on a really level playing field. And again, how did the rocket not kill him? Straight one shot, but it was under his feet, yo. Everybody in those games in that lobby were sharp. We were so evenly matched, and that led to me going, even though I lost the first game, all right, I'm sticking with this group. I could have backed out. I could have waited a few minutes to try and requeue and get a different group. Because in FFA, it's usually like the top 3 dudes are competing. Oh, bring, email. Sorry about that. Phone only goes off if it is a business email, which it was. Anyway, usually it's the top 3 guys in FFA who are competing, and the bottom 3 are in like a different area code in terms of skill level. Not the case with this set of 6 people. And so I stuck it out, and I said, all right, let's try again. Let's run it back. It's they say in the fighting game community, let's run it back. That means I want another chance to try and see if I can beat you. That 4th place you left me with, that salt and sodium in my chest, I'm not pleased with it. I bet I can do better, kind of a thing. So the next game, it was just vicious, tight match stuff, and I think I got 3rd place. And I stuck with that group for 3 or 4 more games. And when I left the playlist and went back to Warzone, oh my gosh, dude, it's like my level had jumped up 2 hours worth, not like 30 minutes of matches kind of a thing. I guess 4 games is probably like 40 minutes of FFA. But the point is, when you play against people who are better than you, you improve a lot faster. You also are expected to play at a higher level. If it's an even matched lobby, I shouldn't have gone in for the melee. I think if I juked, I could have won there. If it's an evenly matched lobby and people are pushing each other, the just general level of your shot goes up. Why? Because if you are not maintaining shot strings at the level of your opponents, you just lose. Like, you get slayed over and over again. So often we want that pub mentality, and this is why Halo 5 is so off-putting for a lot of people, and sometimes even, like, including myself. The ranking system works pretty well, and it's also a lot of die-hard folks left who are playing this game. This is the CSGO of Halo, and the matchmaking system works pretty darn well. Outside of Smurfs, I generally play people who I feel like deserve to be in Diamond, and Diamond matches usually are not blowouts. They're a struggle bus. They challenge your shot kind of a deal. Those matches can be very mentally draining. That's why Halo 5 can be very mentally draining. Yeah, you improve faster against higher level and even level opponents than you do just smashing people who are less skilled than you. But it's tiring. If you remember Halo Reach or Halo 3, social matchmaking was purely social, so you would match people of all varying skill levels. And oftentimes, if you were in the upper brackets of skill, you'd have a lot of easy matches in social most of the day, and that's just not the case anymore with Halo 5. I wish to some degree there was some social 4v4 that gave you that easy or more relaxed feeling, but it's not as satisfying. I was playing Assault a few weeks ago, and I got like a 47-4 game. I never posted it because it's just, yeah, it was a fun game, but the people I were versing, our skill levels were very different. And I'm not trying to act like I have an ego here or whatever. It's just there was a big skill discrepancy that allowed for a fun, easy game. If you can put your ego aside and you get into an FFA game, or if you get into a Slayer game against hard opponents, stick in there. I guess if it's Team Slayer in Halo 5, you don't get the run back. That's kind of annoying. It usually just, it doesn't give you the option to party up with this group for the run back. In old Halos, you could, at the end of a match, hit a button, and the people who hit that button could stick together, and you could team with the people, or if everybody decided to stay, you could do a little best 2 out of 3 kind of a deal. I need to put that in the Waypoint forums because they were asking for map feedback. I don't know if that's a feature or map feedback. By the way, they are looking for feedback on the upcoming season or the upcoming changes to the map pool for arena stuff. So if you have feedback for the current arena map pool, weapon placement, that kind of stuff, I'll leave a link to the Halo Waypoint forum post down in the description below. Go ahead and give your feedback. They are reading that, and you're going to possibly play a role in shaping the next whatever, like the next map pool for Halo 5. Here is one of those games where everybody was super sharp. It was a challenging match. Now, I'm not saying that this is a champion level game. It's not. These are Diamond Onyx. We're not up there at that. I'm not at that level of play just yet. The story I wanted to tell to reference the playing higher level people kind of thing was for mountain biking. I had raced a few years on my own, and then in 2006, I was able to join a development team, which had a pro coach, and there was like 8 or 9 dudes on it, and they were all really good, but 3 of them were national champions, and they were all much better riders than I was. Within 2 weeks of practice with those guys, going out on training rides with them, my level of riding jumped what would have taken me years on my own. I don't know exactly what it is. It's a combination, I think, of following the riders, getting to see how they ride, trying to keep up with them and pass them, so it's pushing your level. You're out of your comfort zone a bit. Sometimes you crash, but you're learning how to ride at that next level, and everybody just sort of pushes themselves a little bit. I hate in... Oh, look at this nice nade, by the way. In action sports, every action sports interview you've ever seen, somebody has to say, yeah, it's progressing the sport. But that's the truth. Those guys are always pushing each other to just be a little bit better or do a little bit crazier thing. So if you have a friend who's better than you, ask him to 1v1, man. Ask him to Octagon. That will help your play a ton. If you can put your ego aside and take the losses, because as I'm talking about facing nasty opponents, there can be nasty, nasty losses when you're fighting people who are better than you, and that sucks. You get really tired of it, regardless of how strong mentally you are. Myself, it's hard to put the ego aside, and by that I mean when I go and I play matchmaking, it's nice when I get messages saying, hey, BBK, what's up, dude? Like, it's cool to see that, but anytime I lose or have a really bad game, and somebody's like, yo, you suck, BBK, there's this expectation or this little voice in the back of your mind that's like, if you make tip videos, you gotta do good, or at least that's the expectation it feels like sometimes. And I have bad games just like you guys do. I take breaks and I come back and I gotta get refreshed with the game again. But if you could just put your ego aside and not care about win-loss or that image or whatever, and verse those harder people, through the roof, dude. Like, that's gonna accelerate stuff. Question for you all. This is a nice way to bookend our discussion. Should Halo 5 have a social and ranked distinction where you can pick social and there's almost no skill-based matchmaking when you're matching with other people and it's 4v4? Or should it stay as it is now? The social that's in the game right now, that rotational social playlist, that has quite a bit of skill-based matchmaking. Now, it's not as tight as Slayer or Arena, but it's still there and it's still pretty tight. You're not going to be matching golds if you're in Diamond or even Platinum. You're generally going to be matching people who are still in your leagues and your ranks. I've always been a firm believer that the Halo 3 system was exceptional, but I also understand why 343 has opted to do what they've done. They've cultivated a ridiculously competitive atmosphere by having all the 4v4 stuff be ranked. They've made it match all the money that's going into esports production with HCS. So if their goal is to rebrand this as the console esports shooter, they're doing a good job, and they are creating that atmosphere. But I also feel like it's scared away a lot of wannabe players, or not wannabe, would-be players, especially people who played the franchise during Halo 3, Halo Reach. They remember, I could hop on Social Slayer and have a good time, and I didn't always have to go and load up into the MLG ranked playlist. What do you guys think? Give some feedback there. Don't forget to give some feedback also on the forums about the maps. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. See you next time.